Hello, friends. Jeff and Nick here today on the Jeff Finch Experiment. As you can see, we have video.
Oh, diggity!
For the first time. This is really a big, outstanding, what's the word I'm looking for, Nick? A breakthrough? Yeah, breakthrough. Breakthrough? Yeah, breakthrough.
It's a good Queen song. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Also, wait, that was Breakout, the old arcade game. You ever play that game? Breakout? No. You've probably seen it. Like, basically, there would be...
That's a Scorpion song.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't listen to the Scorpions, so...
It was on a Best of the Scorpions. I borrowed from Chuck.
I may have heard it before. Breakout. It was this old arcade game. Basically, it had all these bricks lined up at the top of the screen, and you had a paddle at the bottom you controlled left and right, and there was a ball that bounced from the top to the bottom. So the ball would bounce. You would move your paddle underneath the ball. The ball would bounce off your paddle and then bounce to the top of the screen and break a brick, and it would keep bouncing back, and you would go until you broke all the bricks. But you had a time limit. Like
so, it's almost like Pong, or one side of Pong against
a brick wall. Similar, yeah. I'm surprised you never played that or heard of it. It was a very classic arcade game.
Oh, yeah, but there's most... I think like my old iPod or whatever had something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those games.
Like it's like gives you a demo.
Yeah, it was one of those simple arcade games that like made it to mobile. You know, it's from like the early 80s, late 70s, something like that.
Yeah, or give you you get a game like that, or you get something that's a mutant version of, say, Connect 4.
Yeah,
or a different name like Bejeweled.
Yeah, right. Or, like a terrible version of Tetris. Or, there were a few other ones. Yeah, they always had a different name. Like, you couldn't call it Othello, so they called it Reversey. Or, whatever else there was. There was a bunch of other games.
Othello as in Lawrence Fishburne Othello?
No. Othello is in Shakespeare Othello.
Oh.
No, the game. Yeah, a little black and white.
I know, nobody got that reference.
Oh, okay, well.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Who's that guy? Morpheus, guys. Morpheus.
Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, that's right. He was Cowboy Curtis as well. That's right. Bring it on along, Pee-wee. So, we have video. What do I hear banging?
I don't know.
Is it coming from upstairs?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The wife must be upstairs beating up the floor or something.
Hopefully not beating up the kid.
I hear crying, so yeah. I wonder if that picked up well on the mic. So anyway, as you can see, we've got camera. We have video now. I'm very happy about this. I picked up a new camera recently on Black Friday. I have a second camera coming in the form of a computer. I've got a computer that has a really great webcam coming in the mail. And so I'll be doing dual camera setup from now on, so we won't be crunched in the corner like we are today. Although this is reasonably comfortable. At least for me it is. I don't know how you
luckily
feel.
I was able to scooch up a little bit.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of room.
Because I got the cord for your lamp. Just sticking right in my back.
That's another thing too. Like, I had to rearrange the mic so that the lamp could make it in the shot, because if the lamp couldn't be in the shot, I was going to be very disappointed. He was not going to do the show. No, I wasn't going to do it. I was very disappointed if I couldn't get the lamp in there. So what's new, Nick? What you been up to?
About 5'6", usual.
Yeah, that's about the same. So you just got back from vacation.
Yep.
You went and visited a friend in Oklahoma?
It was Oklahoma.
So what did you do? Like, who's your friend, and what did you, how do you know this guy? Why is he out there?
My friend Matt. He's pretty much been, I've been friends with him since we were teenagers.
Did you go to school together?
Yeah.
Blackhawk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I met him in middle school.
That's cool. So what's he doing out west? Like, did he move out there for...
Well, he was in the Air Force for a number of years. He was stationed out in Altus Air Force Base, and he just ended up living there. So 2 years ago, he went through a separation with the Air Force, and he joined...
They get a divorce? You said separation. They got separated from the Air Force? Like, yeah. Did they divorce?
There was no prenup.
No prenup?
No.
So he doesn't owe it any money or anything?
No, nothing like
That's
that.
Good.
No.
That's good.
No. Nice clean separation,
Clean break?
Amicable.
No alimony payments?
No.
No kids? They have no children? He and the Air Force have little B-2
bombers
running around?
Well, he was in the Air Force. One was born while he was in basic.
Oh, okay. Is he the dad, or is the Air Force the dad? Like, who's the mom in that relationship? Is the Air Force male or female?
I don't know.
If you ask Marines, they'll tell you the Air Force is female. Even though they call them flyboys. Okay, this is way off topic.
Anyway. But that's what we do best. We're not digressing, Joe.
So you went, right? So you went and visited your buddy. What did you do? I mean, you were out there for like 5 days or something, right?
Yeah.
Did you just hang out with him and his kids? Did you do anything special? Did you sightsee? Did you do anything
Yeah,
cool?
I did some sightseeing.
What'd you see? Where'd you go?
Well, first off, I should say, since he got out of the Air Force, he joined the police. police force.
Oh, so he's a cop.
Yeah.
Local, state?
Yeah, local. It's called a little town called Elk City. It's about an hour away. So that's one of the reasons. If you listen to any of our earlier podcasts, you'll say how I was talking more, how I support the police, whatever.
Yeah, that's right. You
because
did
of
mention
him.
on a podcast before you had a friend that was a cop. I didn't make
so that's
the
why I
connection.
was getting more heated about like these protests and that.
Bastards.
I know.
So, anyway, with the sightseeing, like, what sort of sightseeing? Like, did you do any hiking?
Well, it's
fishing,
like
swimming?
there's a park or whatever that's a couple miles or in the area, and the last time he took me there, it's like I think it was like a reservoir, and when I was down there, there's a performing arts center, and there's a covered walkway or whatever that would lead you there.
Okay.
It was bone dry there last time I was there, 2 years ago, in September 2014. And he was telling me, it's like, you used to be able to fish from here. He pointed to one spot, says, we used to be able to get boats, and we'd boat from there all the way over to here. So about 100 yards this way, bone dry. The water had receded so far back. Receded like another 200 yards this way.
Just in a matter of 2 years.
No, but the water, they've been having drought problems there for years. And he was telling me this last time, it got so bad the water level dropped down to 9% of what it should be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, is there any wildlife left in this reservoir? I mean, are there any fish left, or?
Yeah, I think he said they do stock it. I do believe
They would have to stock it. It'd be hard to believe that they could maintain a population with that low of water level. You know what I mean?
Well, what they ended up having to do was shutting down parts of the city.
Holy shit!
And this town city almost became a ghost town because
no water.
Oh no! The Air Force said it's like, well, we have a base here, and if you're going to be shutting us down, we're out of here.
Yeah.
So pretty much it would be like having a town that's centered around, say,
like a mill,
a
or
coal
something.
industry or whatever.
Right.
They close up shop and they move.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. There's no reason for anybody to be there.
Yeah, the Air Force is pretty much, it's like the main provider of jobs in that town. It's probably...
I don't know about jobs, but the main, source of,
yeah,
of like income and, attraction there, going there. But I went there this time around, and I think the water level was up to like 90% now.
Oh, nice. So it looked completely different than how you remembered it.
You can look it up on YouTube, but it's I think it was like Altus floods in like 2015. They just got like 2 or 3 weeks of non-stop rain and massive flooding.
Yeah, I'll bet. Especially an area that's been drought-ridden for so long. Even if, 30 years ago it could handle that kind of rain, now it couldn't because it's so dried up.
The ground can only absorb so much water.
Right. That's crazy. So what else did you guys do? Did he take you up in any airplanes or anything?
No, he didn't fly. He provides security.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't an actual flyboy. He was a security guard or agent or something for the Air Force. That's pretty cool. Had he ever gone overseas for the Air Force or anything?
Yeah, he did 2 tours in Iraq and 1 tour in Oman.
Oman. That's cool.
That's
also
very
in the Middle East,
very bottom of this. It's Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the Arabian Peninsula, right? It's right south of Saudi Arabia, right on kind of where the Indian Ocean meets.
Bahrain, it's Oman, and then there's I think it's Yemen off to the left.
That's cool. So while you were out there, you mentioned to me that you had he has kids, right? Like 3 kids or something? 4 kids. And one of them you were talking to about your paracord addiction and you got her into, weren't you telling me about that?
Yeah, I went down there. I had about 150 feet or so of paracord. I had a bunch of other projects that I had made for those guys. Like I made a dozen coasters out of paracord for them.
Like coasters for your, your company.
For your drinks.
Not like a roller coaster. Paracord roller coasters. No. That would be impressive. So
that was a little something I whipped up.
Right.
I worked on
it's the Steel Phantom.
It's a miniature. I worked on this every day whenever I was taking a dump.
Yeah, exactly.
To do.
That's a lot of pooping. So
I have a lot of free time.
You've been in paracord for a while. You and Chuck actually talked about this a little bit on one of the previous podcasts we had done together. And you actually were planning on getting a shipment of paracord today, and we were going to do an unboxing video.
Yeah.
But it didn't show up.
Exactly.
So what did you order, and what all was involved with that?
Well, while I was on, of course, it happens right when I'm in the middle of vacation. I find out that there's a paracord group I'm a member of.
But
the main guy, or the main company that I get my paracord from is called boardparacord.com, and they had a huge Black Friday sale.
cool.
Like, yoink! And they had all kinds of sales going on. All the paracords, 20% off. A lot of those things, it's like, you buy this, you get this free.
Sure.
So, of course, it was something I had to take advantage of. And since my friend's oldest daughter, Anna, I believe 9 years old, she seemed to be taking an interest in it. There's a couple of, like, combo kits, whatever, has various lengths of different colored paracord. And so I picked up some of that stuff for her. Get her, here's some stuff to get started. And plus, I have dozens of colors at home.
And so, like, you showed her how to weave it and all that stuff.
Some
yeah, that's
stuff.
cool.
She made a bracelet for, a couple bracelets for herself, some for her friends.
Cool. That's kind of stuff that, like, I'm not, like, trying to sound like a dick. That's kind of stuff that girls get into. Like, I know when my sister was young, she was really into, like, weaving. Not paracord, really, but, like basket weaving and crochet and that sort of thing. So that's something that, like, a young girl, and you said she's, what, 9 years old or something?
9, yeah.
No. That's something that she could probably get into and end up doing for the rest of her life.
Yeah, because a lot of that paracord stuff is also, or knots are also stuff that was used in, like, macrame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that, too. Macrame is not really as popular now as it was way back in the day. Like, macrame
but
was
there's
a big
not a
thing,
whole
like,
lot
in
of
the
difference
70s,
to it.
No, that's really cool. So, like, you have a couple of paracord items. We've talked about them before. We've never been able to see them before on the podcast because now we have video.
Well, now you can.
Why don't you show me what you got on your wrist there and show us a couple of the things you've made recently. Maybe hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, hold it up about 6 feet away from the camera.
I can zoom in somehow using this program. I figured out how to do it, but it would be kind of clunky to do it, like, during the program.
Well, how about I just get up a little camera, get up to the camera until you figure that out.
You might break the screen, man. I don't want you to break the lens. Okay. It's coming through kind of dark. I need more light. Maybe put it underneath the light right here. There you go. That sounds good. So that's Lucille, right? That's the one that you can talk. It's okay.
Yes, it is!
That's Lucille, you called it. So you named it after Negan and Lucille from The Walking Dead, which I thought was really cool because it's like the same color scheme. It's like...
well, I didn't come up with the name. It was actually a tutorial that I saw from one of the YouTube channels that I'm a subscriber to.
That's really cool. I like it. Yeah, it looks like the barbed wire that you would see like on Negan's bat, Lucille. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like I first saw this the little accent of using what's called microcord, the real skinny stuff. Make the barbed wire on that paracord on Facebook group.
Okay.
But this is just a different color combination.
This Facebook group, is it an open group or is it an invite-only group?
Yeah, it's open.
Cool. Everybody check it out. Paracord group on Facebook. There's probably a bunch of them.
No, it's literally called Paracord On.
Paracord On?
Yeah, because the guy who runs it, Sean, he that's how he ends all of his tutorials. Say it's like, thank you for watching and Paracord On.
Paracord. Oh, okay, like party on, Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
Party on, Garth.
Paracord on, Wayne. Paracord on, Garth. Paracord, party time, excellent. That would be awesome. Yeah. So what other sort of things can be made with paracord? I mean, other than just like decoration and like jewelry, like are there any practical things you could make with it?
Hammock.
A hammock. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Although it's more of a I think in order to do that, it's more of a combination of paracording and crocheting. So I think you might need like a crochet needles and such.
Really?
I think.
I wonder why. Like, does it have to do with like the way that you would make the knots, like certain knots,
think so.
Or I don't know.
Now,
when you're doing your regular paracording, like stuff you got on your wrist, do you use like is there just one type of knot you use for everything?
No,
or there's different types of knotting and weaving and all that stuff.
The main priority one is called the Cobra or Solomon weave. That's pretty much what this one is that I have. The Negan and Lucille.
Okay.
It's pretty much your basic, but there are so many different variations on it that you can do with it.
And it that's how you get like different designs and different like strengths or whatever, like how they.
Yeah, I mean, with this you could. This is a regular Cobra bracelet. It's the same kind of bracelet you'll find for sale at like Walmart or somewhere. But with this one, by taking two different colors and fusing them together, I have a bracelet that's two colors. And not only that, flip it around, the colors are reversed.
Oh wow, that's cool. It's actually 3 colors. It looks like it's black, red, and silver.
Oh yeah, but not all. They don't always have the microcord accent.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Never mind. It's an accent. I was thinking that there were 3 separate paracord types, like 3 separate strings in that. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Technically there is.
Oh, okay.
But still, but.
So what about the other one you got on the other wrist there?
Well, the other one. This is
blue and black.
Yeah.
That one's cool too. I like it.
Well, black on the outside with the blue streak going down the middle is called a thin blue line for law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a red for firefighters, it'd be a thin red line, so on and so forth.
That's cool. And for people that don't know what paracord is, it's basically it's like a very tightly woven piece of string, I guess you could say, like rope. No, because that's what it looks and feels like.
Well, actually, what
nylon.
It started out as it's called paracord because it started out as the risers for parachutes during World War II.
It's like real stretchy and whatnot.
Yeah, it has some elasticity, but not like a bungee strap. But it has 7 inner strands, and then there's that another an exterior sheath. That's the colored part of paracord.
Like a rope.
Yeah.
Like like your basic rope, but maybe a little bit different construction.
I think different types of rope are similar.
Like your basic nylon ropes have a because if you want to cut one of the ropes,
those are more tightly woven, and then have a sheath on the outside.
So
as you were thinking,
like a standard rope, like the regular rope you would buy to like just tie something around your house. Standard rope, not like barge rope or anything crazy like that. It has a sheath on the outside, and it's not like real flexible. Excuse me, it's flexible. It's not real elastic.
Yeah.
So this stuff is more elastic than that, obviously, but not like it's not like you said, not like a bungee strap or anything like that.
No, I've heard various stories on how elastic or how much something paracord can shrink, but
can you buy paracord in different like brands of elasticity, like different ratings, like where some of it's more elastic, some of it's less?
Elasticity.
So whenever you buy paracord, like what are the different parameters for the differences? Like just the color, the length of your cord that you buy? Is there different thicknesses?
Oh, there's I forget exactly how many different types of cord there is. There's microcord.
Is that what you got right now? Is microcord?
Well, that's what this accent is. The real thin stuff.
The real thin stuff.
The thinnest stuff that they have is called microcord. They have 95 cord. The numbers indicates the tensile strength.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's like regular paracord is 550 pounds before it snaps. No, it's 325. I've seen 450, 95, and now I'm seeing some newer ones. There's 650, 1100.
That's what you would want for a hammock.
Now, for some reason, it's not rated for rappelling. I just found that out because somebody asked on that paracord group.
Yeah, you would think it could be because, I mean, well, rappelling, there might be actually more weight involved with rappelling because if you're, like, let's say a 250-pound adult, you know, it's a lot more than 250 pounds it's pulling on that rope.
And if you're falling,
yeah, you know, if you're bouncing, you know, down the side of a cliff at, you know, whatever acceleration it is, I'm not going to do physics because I don't remember
terminal velocity.
Physics, well, you definitely won't be moving at terminal velocity.
Well, you never knew. I might have.
That would have to be a hell of a no, you weren't, man. You have to fall. Like, I just saw something recently. It was something on YouTube. There's a channel I follow called Vsauce. It's this dude named Michael who is amazing. Like, he does these videos where he explains stuff using math, okay? And what's that look?
No, I'm just thinking we're digressing.
No. This comes back to...
What works out great is if we were to have, since we got video now, have a little light or whatever that signs up says digression.
Like an applause symbol, like an applause sign.
That.
No, this rolls together, I promise. Vsauce just recently did a video about how high could we build a building theoretically.
Yeah, I think I've heard something about that.
And
whereas you have like wind affecting it,
all that stuff, and then he was talking also about a space elevator, which is the new thing that everybody wants to do. Basically, an elevator that goes all the way to space, and you'll be able to tow stuff up and back and forth and whatnot. Anyway, he mentioned that I think the Empire State Building is the one. There was a building when it was first built, was the first building that was tall enough to where if you jumped off the building, you would reach terminal velocity before you hit the pavement. I'm pretty sure it was the Empire State Building. That makes you think. The Empire State Building's like, I want to say like 12 or 1,300 feet tall. Feet.
From the very tip of that little aerial.
Yeah, from the very tip of the spike there, whatever they call it.
I don't know where the observation tower is.
It's on the 102nd floor or whatever. But you're right, it is quite a ways below the spire. I'm pretty sure he said that if you jumped off of the top floor, not from the top of the spire. I think that's what he said in the video. So your fall of 30 feet or whatever, whenever you fell off a waterfall, you definitely did not hit terminal velocity.
Okay.
Although you definitely hit a high velocity. Yeah. Well, no, if you'd have hit terminal velocity, you probably would have died.
I definitely did not bounce.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here talking right now.
Dude, were you drunk? No. If I was drunk, I would have walked away.
You probably would have remembered more had you been drunk. So, back to the paracord. We mentioned earlier that you got a good Black Friday deal. So, what all did you get in the Black Friday deal? Like, how many pieces or how much length of rope? What all did you get? And what do you plan on using that stuff for? Like, is there a certain project you have in mind, or you just saw a good deal and decided to have it so you can make some more shit?
Because it was on sale, yeah.
So, what kind of deal was it? Like, what was all?
I don't know.
Include? Oh, you don't know?
May I consult my checklist?
Yeah. Where'd you buy it from?
Oh, from that boardparacord.com.
Oh, that's where you got it from? Okay, cool.
You know, actually, what's neat is one of the last times I was on my last order that I had, one of my items was missing, so I ended up calling up the company to ask about it, and I talked to the man himself, the owner, the one who does the tutorials.
No way. Said his name was Sean or whatever.
Yeah. Can I use it? Can I use his last name?
I don't think he's going to listen to this podcast and be very upset with us if you do.
Okay. Well,
he's kind of a public figure if he's running an online shop.
What's kind of weird is he's on. He has like 2 paracord or 2 Facebook profiles, whatever. One is
probably a private and a public. I don't know.
Oh, anyway, I'll just go without it.
Yeah. So anyway, Sean,
it's a website. Anyway, I ended up calling and he was the one who answered. Because they're located over in Georgia. And
down in Georgia from us.
Yes, down in Georgia.
That was boardparacord.com.
Wait,
board is in like on board.
Wait, wasn't that in Tolkien? Wasn't Tolkien right about board paracord?
No, that doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, really?
No. It might if I really thought about it.
Parador.
No, that's Beck, not Tolkien. What the hell are you talking about?
Soy
and Pandadar. Soy and Pandadar, yeah, something like that. Parador. I don't know. I can't speak Spanish.
Yeah, it's one of those like, wait a minute. Oh, speaking. I was wondering what he was saying.
It's one of those like those famous lyrics that people always screw up because nobody knows what it really is.
Until you see the lyric sheet, it's like, oh.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of lame. I like my version better.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
That was a big one. And what was the other one that was real popular?
Suicide Solution.
Bad Moon Rising by CCR. There's a bathroom on the right. That was a big one. When I was in high school, I had an English teacher in the 10th grade. She was my CP English teacher. And she was a huge fan of music. More notably, the Grateful Dead and Bob Dylan. She was a jam band folk type person.
Totally off your alley.
Yeah, well, at the time it really wasn't. Now it is, but she was really into music, man. And she had music stuff all over her classroom and whatnot. And one thing she had that I loved, and I wish I could find one. You know those desk calendars where you just rip off the page every day?
Yeah.
And they make a million of them with a million different things like facts about football games.
Yeah, I had one on the far side.
Yeah, there you go. Or Dilbert or something. She had one that was misheard song lyrics. And every day it was a different song lyric from a different song. Yeah, and it was a misheard one. And Bad Moon Rising was one of them. The Jimi Hendrix one you just mentioned was one of them. And then a bunch of that I've never heard. Another one that's pretty popular was the song Blinded by the Light. Where he says, "Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche in the system of the night," or something is how people always say it. Yeah. And it's actually wrapped up in a deuce. No, worked up in a deuce, something of that sort. It had something to do with a deuce coupe, like a car, I think is what it was.
Little deuce coupe.
Yeah, not that song.
You don't
obviously.
know what I got.
Beach Boys.
Little deuce coupe. You don't know what I got.
The Beach Boys are awesome, and they have a lot of great tunes, but I never really got into them. But a while back, I was reading Rolling Stone magazine. They did every once in a while, they'll do like a top 100 of some sort. And they did one on all-time albums. Pet Sounds.
That's what it was. I knew it had something to do with animals.
Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys was listed as the number 2 greatest album of all time.
Really?
By Rolling Stone magazine. Number 1. Can you guess what number 1 was? It's somewhat obvious, but not super obvious.
One by the Beatles?
Yes.
God damn.
Guess which one?
The album one.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was not one by the Beatles. That was a greatest hits
I know, that
album from
wouldn't
like
make any
1999. Think about it.
I'm gonna say Abbey Road.
No.
Apple.
Apple was the name of their record company.
Oh.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was number one. So, what also was funny was in that top 10, I think like 4 or maybe 5 of them were Beatles albums. So, they were a little bit biased towards like 60s music because I'm pretty sure there was a Stones album on there from the 60s. Would have been like...
Not XL on Main Street.
No, that was from like 72 or so.
Very good album, though.
It was a 60s Rolling Stone album. I can't remember which. Not Cheap Thrills. I don't know. Anyway, Pet Sounds was the number 2 rated album. I've never listened to that album. I don't own it, and I'm not like a hardcore Beach Boys fan. And I have to look it up. I should look it up real quick to see what songs are listed on an album. But we think of the Beach Boys as, you know, car songs, surf songs. But that album, I guess, actually was really forward for that band. Like, it was different than what you normally would hear from the Beach Boys.
Oh, when I first heard the Beatles, the Beach Boys, actually, it was the movie The Flight of the Navigator, and it had the song "I Get Around" playing on it.
That was a Beach Boys song?
Yeah, I love that song.
I get around, yeah, I guess so.
Around,
okay, so here's the song listing for that particular album. Now, number 1 is definitely one of their more popular songs. Wouldn't It Be Nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, it's a good tune. I don't recognize any of these other songs. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these other songs. I may have heard them.
Maybe a lot of the more well-known songs were like later on, like Kokomo.
Well, that was from like the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, way later in the.
But no, their most popular songs were all from the 60s.
Were?
I mean, yeah, Little Deuce Coupe, and they did that Christmas song as well. I haven't heard it yet this year for Christmas. They did a Christmas song.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, you've heard it a million times. It was very.
No,
popular.
I haven't heard it for Christmas. No, I don't recognize that song.
What's the Beach Boys Christmas song? Anyway, we're making dead air right now, but I guess we can cut out the dead air.
Yeah, I suppose
Beach
we
Boys
could.
Christmas song. Yeah, they had a Christmas tune that was that's really popular. Let's see if we can bring it up real quick. Little Saint Nick. He's a little Saint Nick, a little Saint Nick.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
That was so bad. Let's bring it up. Little Saint Nick. Let's bring up the YouTube. I actually like this song.
Okay, now I remember that.
I was going to say, you never heard this song? Yeah, it's really popular. Yeah. Are you in the mood for Christmas music, by the way?
No.
No? Are you like, you've never been like a Christmas music guy?
No.
Really? That's lame.
Whenever it comes to Christmas music, I'm like the grumpy cat.
No.
It's beginning to look a lot like, fuck this.
I'm a big Christmas fan. Obviously, I'm a fan of A Christmas Story. Everybody knows it.
Why do you say that?
Oh, yeah. The camera doesn't pick up all the Christmas Story memorabilia I have hanging on the shelf over here.
House.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of... I've got some collectible glasses and a plate and a few other items.
You don't have the BB gun.
I don't have one. I mean, I have a BB gun, but it ain't a Red Ryder 200 range.
Put it like right here.
200 shot range rifle. Yeah, I don't have one. I should get one. And just hang it on the wall, just mount it, even just a fake one, just for looks. So yeah, I'm a big fan of A Christmas Story, and I like a lot of the Christmas programming. You know, we've been watching a little bit of it here. The baby's been checking it out.
If you've never seen it, just unfriend Jeff now.
Yeah, I'm a huge Christmas Story fan.
Or if you don't like the movie.
If you don't like if you haven't seen it, I'm okay with it. But if you don't like it,
in the words of Joe Satcher, get the fuck out of my house.
What's funny is my wife hates that movie. She does not like Christmas Story at all. But I found that out after we were together, and by the time I found it out, I was like, well, we're already in this together.
We're already expecting, I guess I'll keep her around.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, she doesn't like it at all. I don't understand why she doesn't like it. It's a brilliant movie. So if you haven't seen A Christmas Story, there's 2 sequels to it, by the way. Did you know that? Christmas Story? Yes, no, maybe so. No. They did a sequel in the 80s. The original movie came out in 1983. They did a sequel in the 80s. I don't know what it was called. It wasn't called. I don't think it was called A Christmas Story 2. No,
A
definitely.
Hanukkah
wasn't.
story.
No, it was not the Hanukkah story. It was titled A Christmas
Starring
Story something.
Adam Sandler.
And it took place in summertime. It didn't have anything to do with Christmas. I watched it one time and it was terrible. And
Well, no kidding, it's a sequel.
I think Peter Billingsley, who plays Ralphie, was in it. I don't think anybody else from the original movie was in it, though. I'd have to double check that because it's been so long. About 5 years ago, they did a sequel, though, a true sequel called A Christmas Story 2. And, of course, the kids have all grown up and stuff. But basically, in the movie, they got all new actors. Daniel Stern actually plays the old man.
I was just thinking about Daniel Stern a few days ago.
And he was wonderful as it. Like, he did a really good job in
When
this
was
movie.
the last time you saw Daniel Stern in anything?
Christmas Story 2.
Besides that, Bushwhacked?
Bushwhack. That was like 1995 or something.
I know.
Like it. That movie's stupid. I didn't like that
Yeah.
movie.
It's definitely hear something. It's coming from that direction. The train's coming from behind him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. You know what? I might have that movie on DVD, actually. I don't remember. I think I did at one point. It might be at my mom's. But yeah, Daniel Stern plays the dad. He was really good. And then the story is basically, it's Christmas a few years later from the original movie. They're still set in the 40s or whatever.
If hate were people, I'd be China!
What's that?
There's some City Slickers.
Oh, I haven't watched City Slickers since I was a little
Oh,
kid.
man. Great movie.
Anyway, long story short, the movie takes place, Ralphie is now 16, he's got a girlfriend, he's looking to buy a car, and that's what he wants for Christmas is a car. And it's actually a pretty good movie. It's decent. It's not nearly as good as the original, but it's alright. Are there any particular Christmas shows that you prefer to watch, that you like, or you look forward to?
No.
No, not like The
I
Grinch.
completely forget about them. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Really?
Or you get those little, people will share those things on those Halloween movies or Christmas movies, whatever. It's like, oh man, that's. They don't have to like the listings to what channel it's on. It's like, I forgot about that movie.
Now,
Like A Nightmare Before Christmas,
which was on yesterday, and I watched maybe 20 minutes
or
of
on
it.
Halloween, be like Hocus Pocus. I'm like, oh man, that's
Hocus
classic.
Pocus is wonderful. That is one of my all-time favorite, like, holiday movies in general, of any holiday. I love Hocus Pocus. It's so good. And, like, I don't know why I like that movie so much. Probably because I watched it a lot when I was 12
Because
years
you
old
used to
when it
Bette
came
Midler
out.
as a singer. It's like, oh, she actually did do some acting.
She's a wonderful singer. Yeah, you're right. You think
Yeah,
of
my
her
mom
as a
was
stage...
big Bette Midler fan.
Yeah, you always think of her as, like, a stage person, not so much a screen person. She's big, you know, she has a big personality, and she's real good-looking and all that stuff. She's a great singer. But, yeah, in that particular movie, I love her,
she was the last
man.
musical performer on The Tonight
The Tonight
Show
Show.
with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, I knew that, yeah.
So
I
no,
saw
they
that
actually
something
put him in
recently.
tears.
Really?
Yeah.
What song did she sing?
Oh, I don't know what song it was.
She did a couple movies like back in the early 70s, I think, and they were pretty popular. And she had a couple songs that ended up like being like maybe not chart topping songs, but they were, you know, well praised songs. I'm just wondering if the song she did was one of those. Because I've seen that performance before, like one of those like you know, History of the Tonight Show type things where they have like a half hour episode, the best of the Johnny
really
Carson. But yeah, you know, it would. I saw her on there and she did this song, and I didn't recognize the song, but you know, it is what it is. Hocus Pocus is really good. What else is really good?
It's like there's that stop motion animation one, like about Rudolph.
Oh yeah, the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from like the 60s or whatever. Yeah. Rudolph didn't exist until that show, by the way. Like nobody had ever thought of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and then what's the name of the old man that does all those shows? Bert. He sings them. Burl Ives. He sings in a lot of those old stop motion animation shows that we watched growing up, like Frosty and all that stuff.
Well, they have a scene where they have the main character and the, I don't know, like the elf foreman or whatever. See, it's you know, kind of cut and cropped or whatever, and then with the synced up to Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yeah. I've seen that before. It's really well done. Like they synced it up. Basically, he was doing the scene of Arlie Ermy, the drill sergeant, and he was like just bossing everybody around, and it's completely obscene. It's hilarious. It's excellent.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't edit it.
No. They didn't cut out the swear words or anything like
or
that.
Censor,
I
should say.
Yeah, he's saying all the bad stuff that he says. It's really funny. It's really good.
So the sanctity of a classic film.
When it comes to Christmas movies, since it is getting close to Christmas. Obviously, Christmas Story is my all-time favorite, but there are some other really good ones too. Like, how about Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's with Chevy Chase? You like that movie, don't you?
I'm not a big Chevy Chase fan.
No? How the hell do you not like Chevy Chase?
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, he is kind of
pretty much the same, almost the same character in every single movie.
He does have that,
always
like,
have a dimwit.
Yeah, dim-witted, sarcastic, comes off as intelligent but really isn't. Like, that's his shtick.
Yeah.
And that you're right.
Like,
he is like that in every movie.
I like this character in Caddyshack.
Caddyshack is excellent. In Caddyshack, that character is pretty much the definitive Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
That's what he is in most movies that he did. That being said, I love him in all the Vacation movies. There's like, I think 5 of them, something like that. There was the original National Lampoon's Vacation. That's one
European
where he travels.
Vacation.
Yeah, there was European Vacation shortly after that. Then there was Christmas Vacation, which came out in 91, I think. And then there was Vegas Vacation, which came out in 97.
Oh, I forgot about Vegas.
It's pretty good. It's good. I liked all 4 of those movies. And then the new Vacation movie that came out a year or two ago with Ed Helms as the father. And he plays, actually, Chevy Chase's son from the old movies, Rusty. And then Chevy and Beverly Dabo, I think is the name of the woman. Beverly Dabo, I think that was her name. That was his wife in those earlier Vacation movies. Really good-looking blonde. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
No, don't.
You should look her up. She's really good-looking, and she did nude stuff before, so you get to see that too.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah. So, like, Christmas Vacation to me, it's up there. It's one of my favorite, Christmas movies. It's really funny, and like, of course, Randy Quaid is in it, and he's outrageous.
Randy Quaid, there you go.
Yeah, he's in all those Vacation movies. He plays Cousin Eddie. And recurring character, obviously. He's the wife's cousin.
No. I'm thinking Dennis Quaid, but I know who you're talking about.
Randy Quaid. Dennis Quaid.
Independence Day.
Yeah, Randy Quaid. Independence Day. He's been in a ton of stuff.
Hey, boys!
Kingpin is...
I'm back!
Oh, yeah, when he flies the airplane up into the...
F-A-18
into the
Hornet.
thing, yeah. Randy Quaid's one of my favorite roles of his is Kingpin. Kingpin with Woody Harrelson, the bowling...
I never got around to seeing that.
You haven't seen that? Oh my God! It was filmed in this area. It was filmed out in Eden Valley, in New Galley, and shit. You need to
That's
go
what's
see
weird
it.
is I've never seen Kingpin, but I've seen Wonder Boys, and it was filmed in the same location.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't seen Wonder Boy.
Yeah, Michael Douglas and it was the old Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I've never seen
it was
that
filmed
movie.
in the part of it was filmed in the parking lot over the Beaver Valley pool hall.
Yeah,
In
Rochester.
the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they filmed a couple of scenes of Kingpin.
Yeah.
They also filmed a lot of the internal bowling alley scenes at Baden Bowl, which is a little south of here. And then there was a lot of the Amish scenes were filmed out in New Galilee and Eden Valley, and that's obviously where I came from. It's just cool to see
the crotch
scenes.
of the earth.
Yeah, the armpit of the earth. Everybody. New Galley's not that bad. Beaver Falls is bad, but New Galley's not bad. It's very rural, but it's a nice small town, and we have a convenience store there. We're moving up. Had one all my life growing up.
In the armpit of the.
Didn't have one for years.
He grew up in the armpit of the world, but he went to school in the crotch of the earth.
That's true. That's totally true. So, yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to Christmas and Christmas movies mostly, and those are the 2 big ones for me: are Vacation and and Christmas Story. So, what else we got on the docket here to talk about? Where are we at on time, anyway? We're at like 40 minutes. So another thing I wanted to bring up, since we now have video. Hi. Oh, bumped the mic. We have video. I will be expanding the podcast to more video type stuff, I guess.
His mom knows how to expand.
Oh, snap! we we need a light up sign that says Joe's mom, and every time we make a joke, it blinks. Or just your mom in general, like a your mom light or something. But for the podcast, I'm actually going to be doing a 2-camera setup going forward. The only reason we have 1 camera today is because I don't have my second camera yet. I've got a Mac coming, a Mac computer, iMac, and it's got a really cool HD camera, webcam built into it. So what I'd like to do is run that facing me during these podcasts, and I'm going to rearrange the basement here a little bit. Have the couch sitting over there with this camera, that one right there, pointed towards the guests. and it'll be less cramped, obviously, and it'll be
see more of the lamp.
We can definitely see more of the lamp because I plan on setting up a nice little scene behind me, and I don't know what I'll do
Less
behind
wall,
the guests.
more leg.
Well, I'm okay with the wall, but it'll be more of a zoomed-in picture as well. That's kind of the thing. So we'll be, instead of looking at each other with the camera watching us, it'll be more like you're not really talking into the camera, but kind of a quartered view.
Like a person who's listening in on a conversation, but you're trying to ignore the fact that they're listening in.
Yeah, more professional. I mean, like watching like a news interview or something. They're looking at the interviewer, not at the camera, but the camera's focused on them. And then what I'll do is I'll split it up like a split screen. So, like, maybe me on the left and the guests on the right or whatever.
Why not horizontal?
It doesn't look good. Horizontal just doesn't look good.
Makes
The
it look
horizontal split screen. Like, the only thing that horizontal split screen is good for is, like, video gaming. Like, multiplayer video games. But for, like, actual interfacing with a person or something on camera, it just doesn't look right.
Interfacing. Ew.
Yeah, that sounds dirty.
Ew.
That sounds like a dirty term. Yeah. So that's the big thing. And once also
what's gonna tetanus shot before you stick me with that rusty thing.
You said tetanus shot, it just reminded me. I was watching that 70s show the other day, which is my all-time favorite TV show.
Even more than Family Guy?
Yeah, I like it more than Family Guy, yeah.
Wow.
One of the very last episodes in the series, Topher Grace is the main star of the show. The actor Topher Grace plays Eric Foreman, and he gets written out of the show because he leaves the show for the last season. And what it is they set up this scenario where he wants to become a teacher, like he wants to go to college, but he can't afford college, so he goes to Africa at some program, teach kids in Africa for a year, and then go to school. So he ends up having to get shots to go to Africa. And he's like bent over a table, and his mom is a nurse, so she's the one administering the shot. And of course, you just see him from the front, bent over the table. You don't see his butt or nothing. But him and Ashton Kutcher's character, Michael Kelso, are sitting next to each other, both getting these shots, and they're talking and basically saying, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you, man. You've been a great friend," that sort of thing. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" And then they like zoom out, and there's his mom standing there with the needle, and she goes, "That was the alcohol swab." He's like, "Well, it was freezing." It's so funny. It makes me laugh. It's a great show, man. You should get into that show. You would really like that show, Nick. It's hilarious. A lot of really funny, like, music humor and drug humor and just goofiness, and it's a funny TV show. It's on Netflix. Look it up. It's a good sitcom.
I'm sure it is.
Another good thing I've been watching on Netflix lately is, and my friend Dinker, his dad actually got me turned on to it. Oliver Stone just recently released his History of the United States. It's like a 12-part documentary series. It's pretty good. I'm 2 episodes in. They're like hour-long episodes apiece, so it's like 12 hours total. The first episode was all about World War II. And, like, not only Americans' involvement in the war, but, like, his views on, like, Stalin and how Stalin really won the war for everybody, which I pretty much agree with. I think Russia really had a huge hand, obviously.
Resources from Nazi Germany.
Well, not only that, but, he went into great depth about the Russian people. Russia was really down and out around 1940, 1941, and they were just clamoring for us to open up a second front because Hitler was just crushing them.
Well, they had signed a non-aggression pact.
Right, and then Hitler
Germany's like,
backed out on it, and he's like, I'm just going to start effing them up. Right, exactly. And Stalin pretty much evacuated the whole western end of Europe, or Russia, excuse me, to east of the Ural Mountains, and reestablished industry in the eastern part of Russia. And it really opened up Russian nationalism amongst the people there, which is still very strong today. Russians love their country more than any other people love their countries around the world. I mean, Russians are very nationalistic, and they have a very sovereign, mindset. And it all comes back to that war and how Stalin, really built up the industry for the war. And for years, he was waiting for the Americans and the British to open up that second front on the western side of Germany, and we just never did it until finally in 1944.
That would be a D-Day invasion.
D-Day invasion was the big one. Now, we were invading, like, North Africa and fighting back forces there, but that's not a European front. And
it's not enough. Not soon enough.
Definitely not enough. And it was just really interesting, Oliver Stone talking about how he thought that, Stalin bringing his country together and really having like a second industrial revolution in order to fuel the war, basically on their end, was a huge component in the winning of the war and the defeating of Hitler. He also kind of, in a roundabout way, said that he thought that if America had never entered the war, that it still would have been won by Russia. I don't know if I believe that.
No, because they needed material for the Lend-Lease program, too.
Well, not only that. Well, not so much non-involvement of America, but just no military ground troops, basically. We would still be providing the supplies and the resources we had to the other countries to help them out. But he said that, he didn't say that directly. It was like the way he was going about talking about his view of the whole war and how it went down. He kind of in a roundabout way said that, and I didn't agree with it. That being said, the documentary is wonderful, and one thing that I liked and also disliked about it was he incorporates a lot of footage from old movies. I mean, it's Oliver Stone. He's a movie maker. Into his documentary.
Oh, like Hollywood movies?
Yeah. No. Not like
newsreels.
Not like newsreel shit. I mean, there were some newsreel, but he would there was one in particular. It was, and he credits the movies during this thing. Like, it'll say like Sands of Iwo Jima in 1949 or whatever, whenever they come out or whatever movies there were. There was a bunch of them. Yeah. And
it's a bit of a dead giveaway whenever he, shows off like Platoon or something like that.
Right.
You wrote the fucking movie.
That's
Wait a minute, how did this scene from Scarface get in here?
And I wouldn't be surprised if, because I think there is a Vietnam episode in that series. I haven't gotten that far into it yet. I'm sure Platoon will end up being in there.
How about JFK?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I mean, it's Oliver Stone. But he took a lot of footage from old movies and incorporated it in with newsreel footage and footage of, FDR and Stalin and, the same stock footage you've probably seen 100 times, but it was well done. I mean, it was entertaining. Once again, I don't really think Oliver Stone is really qualified to be a historian because he narrates it and everything. But that being said...
would you prefer to have Fahrenheit 9/11 Michael Moore?
No, I hate that.
Would you rather have him do it?
No, thanks.
Yeah.
I think he's an interesting guy as well. I think he's very intelligent, and there were a couple of his movies I really liked. Like, I thought Columbine was wonderful, or Bowling for Columbine was the name of that movie. He did Michael Moore's the documentary about the Columbine shootings.
Oh yeah, I know what Columbine is, but I never saw that. I think I saw Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah, I thought that was good, like a good movie. I didn't agree with most of it, but I thought it was well done. You know what I mean? In terms of how he goes about... Bowling for Columbine is basically the same movie as Fahrenheit 9/11, just with a different subject. And what I mean by that is his methods of gaining information, the way he interviews and talks to people. Because Michael Moore is kind of a forceful guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's very upfront. And he's not afraid to ask, digging questions of people. You know what I mean?
What do they call bowling?
Bowling for Columbine. Like bowling, like throwing a ball.
No.
At pins, yeah.
What's it getting?
I can't remember. I haven't seen it in so long. But I can't remember exactly why he called it that. There was a reason.
Well, what was the premise of the documentary?
Oh, to get inside of Columbine, what really happened. He does a lot of...
What kind of things were they
up for
debate? Like response to it, or?
A lot of it, yeah. A lot of everything.
People should have known what was going on?
That was a big thing. Like, there should have been red flags that these kids were doing things they shouldn't have been doing.
A lot of noise coming from the...
There was a lot of talking about... actually, Marilyn Manson was a big part of it. He got interviewed. That was a big thing when that whole Columbine thing happened, because Marilyn Manson was very popular at the time.
Yeah.
And people assumed that these kids, and they did, they listened to Marilyn Manson, and they assumed these kids went on a killing spree because of the music they listened to.
A reporter asked him, if you could have talked to the shooters, what would you have said to them? He responded by saying, I would have listened. And then he would have said nothing.
Yeah,
I would have listened to him.
Marilyn Manson's a very intelligent guy, by the way.
I think
very
he
intelligent.
is.
Whether you like him or not, the guy's brilliant.
I think it's one of those, you'd rather hear him on the it's better to hear him on radio or whatever as opposed to seeing him, because you just look at him, it's like somebody with
he has a weird look to him.
10,000 facial piercings. It takes away from whatever they say, because that's what you focus on.
It would be like doing an interview with Gene Simmons in full makeup and just you can't take him seriously.
Yeah. Or in
not that anybody would take him seriously anyway, but you know what I mean. Funny about real quick about Marilyn Manson, Joe Rogan did a podcast on election night where he had a bunch of comedians on stage. He did a live podcast with Bill Burr and Bert Kreischer and just all these wonderful comedians, and they goofed around a lot, but they also talked a lot of politics. Marilyn Manson was actually in the crowd and they tried to get him on stage. They wanted to talk to him about the election because he's a smart guy. He's well read. He refused to do it. He didn't want to get on stage. But anyway, that's a big thing in the movie. That was a big controversy that they discussed both sides of. That was another thing I liked about it too. It wasn't a one-sided movie. It wasn't strictly liberal because Michael Moore is known for being kind of a liberal. But he does explore both sides. Michael Moore is actually an NRA member, at least he was at the time of the filming of that movie. He mentions that. I think they interviewed Charlton Heston in that movie, if I remember correctly.
I think he was president of the NRA
at that time. He was, because that was in 1999 when that happened. And he passed away in the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure he was still, in the NRA at the time. I think they interviewed him. I'm not 100%. I can't remember. I haven't watched that movie since like 02 or 03. But it's
guns
very
don't
interesting.
Kill people. Apes with guns kill people.
Right. Yeah. So like the movie's really good. They interview a lot of people on both sides. They talk a lot about how the two kids, what were their names? Eric Klebold and Eric Harris, I think were their names.
Yeah.
Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris. They had shown signs of mental, I don't want to say mental illness, but they had shown previous signs of not being all there, and people just repeatedly missed the signs, just repeatedly, constantly. People just signed it off as like, it's kids being kids, or he
hormones.
Plays too many video games, he listens to bad music, hormones, all that stuff. And it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It's a really good psychological
And then about
profile.
10, 12, 15 years later, whatever, all of a sudden it's like, it's the household, it's the parents.
Yeah. And what was good about that movie
others
as well,
should be held accountable.
that movie was made only a couple years after it happened. So it was still pretty fresh in people's minds. Like, they interviewed some of the kids who were in high school at the time, and by the point the movie come out, these kids were our age. I mean, I was in the 9th grade when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of these kids are fresh out of high school. They're college students at this point, and they're doing these interviews. They're well-read. They're smart kids. They give great interviews, and they have really good perspective. Another thing they had was they had a lot of the security footage from Columbine in the movie. And some of it's really disturbing. Like, they're walking around with the guns blazing. You could see them firing at people. I don't remember seeing anything really gory. I'm sure there probably was some, but I either missed it or they didn't put the really gory shit in the movie itself. But it really opened my eyes to that whole situation and why people freak out when they do, It was really crazy. It's a good movie. I suggest you check it out. It might be on Netflix. Check it out.
It's weird to think. I think, wasn't there 13 killed and then the 2 perpetrators?
I'm pretty sure it was like a total of 16 or 17 killed.
Yeah, and I think that's
1 teacher, the rest were students,
Yeah.
and then the assailants, yeah.
And I think that was just
It
that was
would
only a fraction
that was
of
another
some
thing.
of the other mass shootings.
They like placed a bomb underneath of like a some kind of tank in the school.
There's a couple of them, I think.
Yeah.
I think there was only 2 of them actually detonated, but no one was around.
Well, they didn't even really go off. They detonated, but they didn't really go off to the capacity that they wanted them to. They wanted them to, because they were underneath of like I want to say it was like a kerosene tank or something, or it was something that if it went boom, it would have took out the whole building.
I think it was going to be like a propane tank.
Something of that sort. And they rigged bombs to it. They wanted to kill everybody. And they were obviously not afraid of dying themselves. I mean, they killed themselves. It's crazy. It's insane. I wonder if those kids would have survived Klebold and Harris, like what they would have to say for themselves. It would be very interesting. You don't think so?
Oh,
I'm glad they're dead.
Sure that,
I'm sure it would just be interesting.
I think they just would have been going around thumping their chests or whatever, spouting their hate rhetoric and stuff like that. The typical.
Possibly.
What they would,
Possibly. It's hard to say. I guess the one kid, the older one, I'm not sure which one, was a very, very like influential type guy. I guess the younger kid was not as like he
one's
was more
a shepherd, one's a sheep.
It's exactly what it is. One's a leader, one's a follower. And, they did the whole trench coat mafia thing and tried to be hard and nobody gave a shit about them, so they went nuts and fucking killed a bunch of people. It's insane. Let's end this on that sad note. Well, you want to do another one?
But of course.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for joining us. By the way.
What's that?
He means a podcast, by the way.
Yeah. Not another anything else. Well, maybe another drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use a couple more drinks. Well, thank you for joining us here on the Jeff Finch Experiment. I'm Jeff.
I'm Nick.
That's Nick. You bumped the mic. Oh, don't do that, man. It's a brand new microphone. You gotta break it. That hurt my ears. All right. Well, hey,
That's
thanks
what
for
Joe's
joining
mom
us.
said. There you go. Now we
There
got
it
it on
is.
a bright side.
Bzz, bzz. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.